Anybody who follows Major League Baseball or any kind of sport generally follows events that lead up to walkouts by players or lockouts by owners. In this case, Major League Baseball has a lockout that is in progress that was perpetrated by the owners. Now, baseball season is approaching in a few months, or should be. Negotiations, it's unclear when they're going to start. But let's be clear, this was not a walkout like it was in 1995, I believe it was, when the players went on strike and we didn't have a season that year. This was a lockout by the owners who said, we don't want to share any more of the profits with you, the players, or the staff, the management, even the janitor. We want to keep it for ourselves because we're the owners, we're the kings, and we lord over thee, and you will do as we say because we are the owners, we are the gods, the kings, whatever. I mean, these owners, they see the players as just another means to an end. A great example over in the NFL is Dan Snyder. He doesn't care the culture he creates around him. He's already got that sex scandal, mistreatment of the cheerleaders and whatnot hanging over his head. But that's a separate issue. But the point is, these owners get it into their heads that they can treat people however they want. Like somehow they're just property to them. And the players, I think, are hopefully beginning to realize this in baseball as well. I mean, some contract negotiations are coming up anyway. That's a general part of sports nowadays. But the fact that the owners are doing this it shows how little they view the players. They're just cogs in the capitalist machine once again. Now, of course, some people out there will be saying, well, those players make millions of dollars. They can afford to take a haircut. They don't need all that money. Well, it's important to understand that you're also dealing with agents. Okay, sports agents are a big part of being a professional athlete. They're the ones who set up all the advertising and marketing and push you to the other teams to get you a better deal and whatnot. So there's that. And there's also the advertising. Players who make money off of their name, advertised on different products, their numbers, and so on. Some of them make a little extra to appear in video games or commercials. So that's another reason for all this. But the owners are like, no. We want to keep all this profit for ourselves. Well, let's also look at what staged this in the first place. I mean, other than the obvious, the greed, the corporate greed, essentially. COVID-19 really hit Major League Baseball hard. I mean, there was only a half a season in 2020 because of the lockdowns and everything. And then all throughout 2021, people were still masked up. They were still trying to distance. The attendance was down. You also got to take into account that people are going away from traditional cable, okay, and they're moving towards streaming services. So you have a lot more people downloading Major League Baseball.tv, the app, rather than just going to ESPN or to a conventional TV channel to view a game. Now, the advertising, of course, hurts the team when it plays there as well. The advertising helps with the owners and as well as the network they advertise on, and that's that cushy little backroom deal that the owners make with the network. But in this case, that's being hurt because people are moving to streaming services where they don't have to worry about commercials. So owners are feeling a little bit of a financial pinch here. But the fact that they're staging a lockout because they simply want to keep more of the profits, it just, once again, it shows you just how little they regard the people who make their profits possible. And I'm talking about both the players as well as the fans who buy the tickets and the merchandise you see up here, right? But, I think in this case, we need to be standing in solidarity with the players because those owners, they need to be made to understand that they are not lords. They are not kings. They are not gods. They can't just treat people however they want. They have to treat them as human beings. They have to make room for human needs in their business model, and they just don't want to do that. I always say that it's a great idea for more and more teams to be fan-owned. Take the Green Bay Packers. They're a fan-owned team. If more teams had that model, like a consumer co-op is what that's called, when the consumers are the ones who are the primary stakeholders in that company and they make the final decisions, it may sound a little weird, but it happens. They do exist, and Green Bay Packers is one example. If we have more teams like that, this situation would not be nearly as prevalent as it is in modern sports. And because in this culture, in American culture, professional sports is part of the capitalist model that we use to perpetuate everything. Money is always on the table. It's always a topic of discussion. But humanity gets taken away the more these people at the top start viewing the people who work for them as cogs in a machine. And I think in this case, this is really showing the dark side of professional sports, because the owners are saying it's all about us, the world revolves around us, and we're going to prove it by locking you players out and making you come groveling for crumbs to us. No, I don't think so. The fans and the players point this out. The fans don't come, they don't pay the tickets and come to the games to see the owner. They pay those tickets and come to the games to see the players. So you want those players to perform, you better pay them better. And the fans, and if they play better, more fans will come. That's just how it works. So these owners are letting their power and status get to their heads. Enough is never enough. It's another example of how insatiable greed is really a psychological disorder, and I think these types of people need psychiatric help. They need therapy, not more money, because they need to reconnect with their humanity. They need to see the humanity in the people who play for the teams, as well as the people who buy the tickets and come to the games. So let's show solidarity with these players, man. Let's hope that we can move this needle forward in a way that gives the players a better deal, so that they'll play better, and the fans will, once this COVID thing, hopefully it gets under control soon, not crossing my fingers on that, will lead to a better experience for everybody. And again, with the decline in viewership on mainstream networks and cable and towards streaming services, these owners, as well as the players, let's be real here, are going to have to start rethinking their business model. And that's going to be something that they're going to have to work out. But, the owners really need to stop being a bunch of greedy pricks here. And we need to stand in solidarity with these Major League Baseball players so that we can get Major League Baseball back to an experience that everyone can enjoy and everybody walks away happy.